Now I'm very happy to welcome Sid from Sushido. Sid, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Chef. How are you?
Very good, very good. Nice and busy. I'm loving the place and the
Yep.
setting.
Yep.
So, what's your favorite childhood food memory?
Very interesting question. So, Chef, I grew up in India. I grew up in New Delhi. So, New Delhi is very popular for its North Indian style curries and kebabs. So, I think that is my favorite childhood memory of having those fresh kebabs right off the grill and very spicy, of course. But yes, that's where my favorite childhood memory in terms of food is.
And at which age did you start sort of getting accustomed to spice?
I think as young as about like 7 to 8 years old, I used to go out with my granddad at that time, and he used to take me to these small, like local hidden gems in the streets, and that's where I picked up the taste for spice and the taste for authentic Indian kebabs. Yeah.
So, but what is very interesting, Sid, I have to ask, is of course, everybody knows how rich and diverse Indian food is.
Yeah.
So then tell me about sushi dough, because this is not Indian, right?
Yes. I think with times, if I talk about the food scene in India as well, it's grown a lot. There's a lot of influence from all the places around the world. So again, Japanese and sushi, and even in Dubai, as we all know, that there's a lot of influence of, it's a melting pot of cultures. So similar to that, I think New Delhi, where I'm from, is as well a melting pot of cultures. So over the years, a lot of different food influences have come there. Talk about Asian food, talk about European cuisine, American cuisine. So I think that's when I started to like have interest in different types of foods. And that's when sushi dough came.
So then tell me, for anyone who's never had the concept before,
Okay.
walk me through the menu.
Yes. So sushi dough is a very different concepts as compared to the other sushis which are available across in the market. So sushi dough is a fusion sushi concept. So by fusion sushi, I mean it's not very authentic Japanese sushi, but it's a very accessible sushi. So when I talk about accessible, it's of course, accessible in terms of price points is one thing, but in terms of taste profile as well, it's a very saucy, it's a very fusion kind of a sushi with elements from different types of cuisine as well. For example, we have some types of Mexican sushi as well. So there's an influence of American sushi as well. So that's why the concept of fusion sushi, which I think for a market like Dubai fits perfectly because we have people from around the world. So it's something which is very accessible to every taste palette. So that's how sushi dough is built.
And tell me about the name.
Okay. So I mean, funnily enough, no story as such about the name. Just a very cool name, appealing to I'd say our target audience, which is mostly Gen Z and millennials. So I think sushi dough, a very easy to remember name and a very catchy name, I might say.
And what are the specific menu items that you would ask people who are coming to Beach Canteen to try?
Okay, so I'll give you two items. One's the truffle salmon roll, the truffle salmon sushi roll, bomb of flavors. People might not have tried anything like that ever at any other concept ever.
Wow.
So it's a creation by a chef. Our chef is Japanese as well, Chef Daisuke. So he's come up with these very interesting fusion concepts. So truffle salmon roll is definitely one of them. And apart from it, the classic Philadelphia roll, which I think we do it very good. Yeah.
So the other thing is I wanted to ask you is that you touched upon it before.
Okay.
Why do you think the Dubai food scene has exploded so much?
Wow. I mean, the food scene in Dubai, I think, is as compared to any other metropolitan cities in the world, I think it's right up there now. I think one of the few reasons being as like I'm an expat over here. All my friends are expats. All my coworkers are expats. A lot of people coming from different cultures, and they bring the best of them together. So when I see different concepts coming up, a lot of chef-driven concepts coming up, everyone is trying to bring the taste of their region, of their country to Dubai. And I think that's why I think in terms of variety and in types of the flavors, I think you can't compare it to anything else. Dubai is right up there for me.
Absolutely. So then when it comes to food concepts, and if we bring it back home to the Beach Canteen, why would you ask people to come and visit here specifically?
I think, of course, the setting is beautiful, as we're seeing. The weather is great. And mostly, I think getting all these different concepts together at one place, very convenient place. You can bring the family, you can bring your friends, and having about like 50, 60 different concepts, different cuisines, trying them all together at one place, I think it's a perfect place, and I think it's the best place to be right now for anyone in
super
Dubai.
cool, no?
It is. Thankfully, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
it's really nice. I have to say, the atmosphere is great. The vibe is fantastic, super friendly.
Yep.
Lots of foodies, as you would expect.
Absolutely. Yep.
So then, if I wanted to come and find you or order, where can I do that?
Okay, you're saying in Beach Canteen or like...
Not in Beach Canteen.
Okay, so you can find us. So we are a delivery concept as of now. So you can find us in Dubai, Abu Dhabi. We are also there in KSA. We are very big in KSA. We're one of the first sushi concepts there in KSA. So we're now in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Riyadh, and Jeddah. And you can find us on all the delivery platforms, your Talabat, Deliveroo's, Kareem's in UAE, and the biggest and the bigger platforms in KSA as well, Hunger Station, Jayas.
So Sid, what are the plans for Sushido in the future? Are you going to have bricks and mortar space?
We, as a concept, we are running very profitably in terms of delivery. We have about 20 plus locations across the region. Yes, when I talk about dine-in, yes, that's in the plan. But I think we're taking it step by step. I think having experiences like the Beach Canteen, having a pop-up or a setup at food festivals, that's how we're taking it. And maybe the next step is definitely a brick and mortar store very soon.
So then if people wanted to follow you on Instagram, how can they find you?
You can find us on sushido.uae. We have some very cool content on social, so do engage with us. And yes, be a part of the Sushido family.
And what are those accounts? Is it Sushido?
Yes.
Just type in on Instagram, Sushido?
Sushido.uae. You'll find us.
Beautiful.
Yes. And Sushido KSA for our audiences now.
Perfect.
Yep.
So then, for you now, we've come to the quick fire questions, Sid.
Sure.
Are you sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Which types of sweets?
All types of sweet. I have a big sweet tooth.
So then, what would you say is your favorite ingredient?
Favorite ingredient? I'd say would you consider chocolate as an ingredient?
Absolutely.
Chocolate, anything chocolate, I'm up for it.
And who are your top 3 culinary heroes? They don't necessarily need to be chefs either.
Okay, culinary heroes, I think, and if I talk about people who inspire me, people who I really look up to in terms of the concepts they have created, I think first is Chef Calvin Chung. I think the concepts he also had few concepts in India, so that's where I got like into like the concepts he created, and Juns in Dubai as well. So I think he's one who inspires me and a lot of people I know. Apart from it, I think my family, my mom, my dad, my granddad, all of them have the influences and the type of stuff they've made me try it from a very small age. I think yes, they are my culinary heroes.
Amazing. Yep. Kelvin's actually here. I've seen him around.
Oh, nice. So I saw your podcasts with him.
Yeah. So he's a good boy. He's nice. A good lad. Well, Sid, listen, thank you so much for taking the time to come here and be on the show and discuss all things Sushido.
You're most welcome.
Can't wait to see what you guys do. Looking forward to doing a few tastings later as well.
Amazing. Right. Thank you so much, Chef.
Thank you.
Please take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
On the show today, I would love to welcome Hala from Hungry Joe's. Hala, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very good. I'm very excited about being here. The weather is nice, no rain, so
Alhamdulillah.
I'm very happy.
Yeah.
First things first, can you tell me about your favorite ever childhood food memory?
That would be every Friday after my father would finish the Friday prayer. He would pass by, get us our favorite chocolate cake that we would enjoy as a family after our lunch.
So tell me what was so special about that chocolate cake.
The fact that we would enjoy it every single Friday as a family.
And it was beautiful?
Definitely.
Was it sweet? Was it salty? Did it have lots of layers? What was about that cake that you loved?
Honestly, it was very sweet and it did have the layers, but for me, it's mostly the company. Yeah.
Okay. So it's all about having the family, laughing.
Our routine. Exactly.
Really nice.
Yeah.
So then we're here to talk about Hungry Joe's. Now, first thing that came to mind is when you're hungry, you're
angry.
You have hunger and you're angry, and it's a very dangerous situation to be in both.
Definitely.
Why did you come up with that name?
So honestly, I cannot take credit for coming up with the name as it's a franchise from the US. Yeah.
So tell me about the type of food then. What is the things on the menu for somebody who's never had it before?
So to tell you more about our concept, it's a Nashville-style fried chicken with a Korean twist. And we use only fresh chicken breast for everything apart from the wings. And even for the sando, we use brioche bun. So it's a premium fast food. And my personal favorite thing on the menu would be the wings. Because we have the dry rub wings, which is crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside. It's just phenomenal.
Okay, Hala. Now, you have to slow down there because there was so much information and it sounds amazing. So, Korean, American, it all sounds delicious.
Yeah.
What's your most favorite thing on the menu?
Honestly, there's a lot of good things, but then again, my favorite thing would be the wings.
So, when it comes to the wings,
Yeah.
is there a specific flavor?
It's just the dry rub. Because normally when you have it mixed in with the wet sauce, you lose that crispiness. So when you have a dry rub, it's filled with a lot of seasoning, a lot of flavor. It's Korean infused. So the flavor on its own is phenomenal.
Okay. Again, so is it sort of, because Korean foods,
Yeah.
they can generally be a little bit sort of sweet, salty, spicy, lots of umami. Is it spicy or is it a little bit sweet?
I would say a little bit spicy. Yeah, but like not too much. You get to choose your level. So we start off with no heat,
Okay.
mild, medium hot, and the angry hot, which you're required to sign a waiver for. Yeah,
Angry hot?
Yeah.
Okay, how hot is hot?
really hot. I had people cry and sweat from it, people who couldn't go to the toilet after it. It's like bad.
Wow. So look, first thing,
Yeah.
the concept itself, you're based in Saudi or you're based here or based in both?
So personally, we opened our first restaurant in City Walk, and we're available across all the aggregators like Talabat, Deliveroo, Careem, InstaShop, Noon. Inshallah, the plan is to open in Saudi and to open more locations across the UAE like Sharjah, Abu Dhabi, and so forth.
So
Yeah.
look, the market here in Dubai is full on, right?
Yeah.
But for you, how have you found the Dubai food scene?
Honestly, it's very, very diverse, but I feel like if you have the right product and the right marketing, you can penetrate the market. And having been in Dubai for 5 years, I have tried a lot of fried chicken brands. And what I would find is that it would be crispy on the outside, but dry on the inside, or vice versa, where it would be soggy on the outside, but juicy on the inside. So to find that perfect combination of a crispy yet juicy chicken is very rare to find. And on top of that, our chicken is not just bland chicken. It's very flavorful. As I told you, all of our chicken has the dry rub seasoning, which is the Nashville style with the Korean twist.
So from all of the tastings that
Yeah.
you've carried out over the 5 years,
Yeah.
I mean, was it a difficult job? Because in one respect, you're trying to enjoy the chicken.
Yes.
In another respect, you're trying to be, sort of as professional as possible. What was the most difficult part about tasting all these sort of different brands?
Honestly, it put me off from chicken for a while because sometimes you would feel the oil more than the chicken, and sometimes you would also notice that they don't clean the chicken properly. The flavor would be very overpowering. And honestly, like for a while, I'm like, I love chicken. Like growing up, we used to have chicken nuggets. Like that's the go-to meal, you know? So it put me off for a while until I tried Hungry Joe's. And I asked them, can you make it more crispy? They're like, yes. I'm like, done. Where do I sign?
Wow.
Honestly, because I feel like it's needed in the Dubai market. I tried a lot of places and I would feel like it would be too heavy, that I can't even finish 3 pieces of tenders, you know? And some of them, the batter would be too thick that you would feel very heavy. And what I like about our concept is it's very light and you can keep eating and eating and you would never feel full afterwards and you can finish the whole tray.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm gonna test you later because I'm gonna
For
go and
sure.
try it.
I'm excited for
All
that.
right. So then, when it comes to the beach canteen, why are you excited to be here?
Honestly, I heard that the Bragg team is very, very, very hands-on, which I really like. I've been through like a couple of events and I can definitely tell you that this is the best event I've been to.
The other thing I wanted to ask you is, on social media, where can people find you? Which accounts should people be following?
We're on Instagram, hungryjoes.ae, and we're on TikTok as well, hungryjoes.ae. And we're on across all aggregators like Talabat, Deliveroo, Careem, Noon, and InstaShop.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So then, we've come to the quick fire questions for you. Are you sweet or salty?
My personality?
Personality or what you like to eat?
I prefer salty food, savory over sweet all the time.
And personality?
Personality, sweet. Yeah.
What would you say your
Yeah.
personal or favorite ingredient is apart from chicken?
And food in general?
Yes.
Honestly, salt.
Salt.
Yeah, I love salt.
So sweet and salty mixed together.
Yeah.
That's what you are. who would you say are your top 3 culinary heroes? And they don't need to be chefs.
Okay, but culinary heroes I already have 3 for you.
Done.
Nobu Matsuhisa,
Wow.
Joël Robuchon, Gordon Ramsay.
Oh my God. Those are serious.
Yeah,
Those are hardcore.
that's why they have Michelin stars.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Hala, thank you so much for coming on to the show. It's been fantastic to have you
Thank
here.
you for having me.
And cannot wait to try Hungry Joe's.
I'm excited for you to know exactly what I was talking about.
Thank you. On the show now, I'm extremely excited to welcome the programming curator, the one and only Gina. Gina, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Chef James.
First things first, what's your favorite childhood food memory?
Oh, I think as a chef you wouldn't like this answer.
Tell me.
It's noodles. I loved eating noodles. All I ate when I was a kid.
You know what? That is, I have to tell you a secret cheat for chefs.
Okay.
We hate cooking at home, generally, right? And whenever we used to have a break, instant noodles is the things that chefs love. So don't worry.
So that's good. Okay, great.
You're in good company. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So look, when it comes to the beach canteen and your job here,
Yes.
there are so many amazing concepts. Can you tell us a few that are running through here?
Oh, so there's so many. Okay, so if you're asking about the ones that I like,
Yes.
I've tried so far a couple of them and not all. So I would say, and I would start with Rare. I tried their steak on fries and it was amazing.
Okay, so Rare is one of the ones that which are recommended.
Yes, recommend. And also I tried Korean, I think Taiwanese food called Mama B.
Oh wow.
And it's amazing. I tried their noodles, pad thai noodles, and their baos, and they're amazing. James, you should really try them.
So those ones are the ones that we really need to try.
Yes, and my favorite is Fat. Fat, I've tried their noodles, and wow.
What was it in particular about those noodles that you really liked?
Oh my God. Okay, so I can talk all about food. So what I loved about the noodles is that the broth was full of very flavorful. Even the noodles, usually I find it very bland, like when I try it anywhere else. But Fats had it had flavors, and even the chicken that they had in it was full of flavors. I like anything that's very flavorful, that has a lot of spices and herbs.
But it sounds actually like an amazing concept, because we interviewed Lyle from Fat recently, and he has an amazing history, very technical food background, but the food sounds absolutely incredible.
It's amazing. And actually, there's something I actually want to add. It's because in general, I don't eat eggs at all. And in their noodle soup, I really don't know the name of the dish, but it's amazing. I ate their pickled eggs, and they're like heaven. I don't know. I want to express more, but I can't find the words to express. So you should really try them. They're really good.
So then, if you're a regular guest, why should we be excited about Beach Canteen?
Oh my God. Actually, there's so many things happening in Beach Canteen, and every day there's many things, different things happening. We have a couple of workshops right here. So one of them is the culinary theater, and the chefs come in here to cook food, and they actually teach students to cook cuisines. And also we have other activities like burger eating competitions. There's so much happening around here.
Burger eating competitions.
Yes, that sounds fun.
Wow.
By Drip, yeah.
Okay. And at the same time, there's lots of live music going on.
Definitely. There's a lot of live music. We have every day a new program going on, and people love the music on stage. So in a bit, you'll hear amazing sound and music, and people usually gather there. It's great, actually.
And so for people who don't know, where is the Beach Canteen located?
So the Beach Canteen is located at Nisnas Beach at Jumeirah. So it's right by the Kite Beach too. If you need, if you're looking for a beach canteen, If you're looking for Beach Canteen, you should get on the Beach Canteen website, so beachcanteen.ae, and there's all the details that you need right
But it is amazing, no?
there. Great. Yes.
So then, Gina, we've come to the quick fire questions.
Yes.
First of
tell
all,
me.
are you sweet or salty?
Salty all
Salty.
the way.
Okay. Secondly, what's your personal favorite ingredient?
Ingredient truffle.
Truffle.
I love truffle. Truffle on anything.
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 All right. And who would you say are your top 3 culinary heroes?
Honestly, I would start and end with my mother because she has the ability to actually, whenever we try any nice dishes outside, my mom has the ability to recreate any dish, and it's epic.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a serious,
Yes,
epic.
epic. It's always epic. Like, for instance, you know, the lobster thermidor?
Uh-huh.
So we used to go to a certain place, a very fancy one, every weekend to eat it, me and my sisters. So my mom was able to recreate the same exact lobster. So anytime mom, we're craving lobsters, she's able to recreate it. My mom is amazing.
So, because lobster thermidor, from a
Yes.
chef's point of view, is a very technical dish.
Yes, it is.
So I love the fact that your mum is able to just be like, break down the recipe and bang.
Yes, in a minute.
Wow.
Mom is amazing.
Okay, so who would the other 2 be, would you say?
I would say Chef James.
Don't know who that is. Okay.
He's amazing. And like, I've been following his blog and all his talks about food.
Okay.
Loving it.
And the last one?
Mom again.
Mum again. So, Gina,
Yeah.
just to go back, really thank you very much for taking the time to be on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I know you've been extremely busy organizing everyone to be in and out of the culinary theatre. Thank you so much for being here, and see you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Chef James. Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
And now on the show, we have a legend who has been in the industry for some time right here in Dubai, the one and only Ben Tobit. How are you, Ben?
I'm very well. Thank
Lovely
you.
to see you.
Lovely to see you too. Thank you very much for the intro. Legend. Well, feel my head going like that already. Very kind of you to have me.
Favorite childhood food memory?
Oh, so many of them, but I think goes back a long way actually. My dad was a chef, and I grew up in pubs and restaurants. And my first experience actually in the kitchen was helping him with pots and pans and doing the old lettuce garnishes and stuff like that. But he taught me how to make my first Yorkshire pudding.
Oh.
And yeah, it's kind of that, you know, that feeling when a souffle comes out and a Yorkshire pudding works, same kind of feeling, that kind of sense of achievement that it hasn't collapsed into a complete mess. So first Yorkshire pudding with Dad, yeah.
And do you know what? I don't think people understand the technicalities of a Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy to get it right.
Tough one, yeah.
So-
It's actually quite an easy recipe. It's equal amounts of egg, flour and milk, and away you go with some seasoning. But if you open the door or you check once too often or whatever, bang, very much like a souffle, it
Yeah.
collapses. So yeah, that sense of achievement when you see it, you know, souffle right up and you've got a great big crispy Yorkshire pudding was amazing for me.
Love it. So look, tell me about Benny Max. Tell me about the concept.
Okay. It's been a long time coming. Obviously, the original business I started after leaving Jumeirah was Ben's Farmhouse. That business was primarily focused on online wholesale, e-commerce, events and catering, and a bit later on schools. But there was always the fifth vertical of the business that I wanted, and which is obviously my background and my passion, which is restaurants. So as we came a little bit further out of COVID and life went back to some kind of normality, the opportunity came along for a location in Town Square, which ticked all the boxes, primarily because there was nothing else licensed around there, but also because we live around there.
Handy.
And yeah, always handy. I actually live right opposite the pub there, so I can actually look with
Oh
my
my
binoculars out and see what the guys are doing. But it was an absolute no-brainer, and I think in this day and age, especially for small businesses, it needs to be a no-brainer. It can't be too much risk involved. So we took the location, and after a lot of blood, sweat and tears, we managed to open back in January. And as I say, it's licensed, so it's the only licensed premises in that whole area. British gastro pub. most gastropubs, even in the UK, they have lots of influences from around the world. So it's not just fish and chips and pie and mash. There's lots of other influences, and we've just launched our new summer menu, and it's going down a treat. It's very popular.
And how have the community taken to that concept?
Very happy initially, of course, because they've now got a local where they can go to, and they haven't got to jump in taxis and travel afar to go and enjoy a nice meal and a beverage. But it's not just a case of opening the door and they come. You've got to have the right price point, the right quality, good service. All of these things are still required, whether you're the only place in the area or not. So we've had our ups and downs in the beginning, like any new business, but we're over the moon with kind of where we are now, and it's really starting to resonate not just with the immediate local residents, but with areas around like Mira, Ranches, Damac Hills, places like that. So becoming a little bit of a destination as well, a local destination.
So then you touched upon earlier about the menu. Yeah. Walk me through the menu that you have right now.
So there are the British classic dishes, you got the Scotch eggs on there, and you've got the fish and chips and the pie and mash and the roast on a Sunday, as I said. But for me, a proper gastropub is where the food and beverage are on a par, and if anything, the food becomes a little bit more important. So we've got some more integral dishes on there, influences from places like Spain. So we've got a lovely octopus and chorizo dish on there. We've got a beautiful Asian braised short rib that we do for 9 hours. What else have we got on there that's really interesting? I've just written the menu, so I should know, shouldn't I? But yeah, we've got some lovely Thai-inspired stuff on there as well. So there's a nice cashew crusted salmon that we do with some zucchini noodles and a nice coconut Thai sauce. So yeah, a little bit for everyone on there. And then you've got the usual bits and pieces,
right.
Your chicken wings and your arancinis and stuff like that for your bar snack. So there's a nice eclectic mix on there, which is something for everybody.
So now, if we look ahead to what's going on in the scene, you've seen what's happened over the past 10, 15 years within Dubai, but particularly right now in this space.
Yeah.
What excites you about the Dubai food scene?
I think the biggest change I've seen in the Dubai food scene, and it's probably since COVID, is everyone's had to up their game. No disrespect. You go back kind of 10 years and there were some places that were kind of just going through the motions. For me, maybe naturally busy because of location and maybe under-delivering a little bit when it came to the quality of food, price point, service, stuff like that. But the change has been amazing that I've seen in terms of quality of service, quality of food, attention to detail. Chefs are cooking again properly, and there's a demand on the staff to be as best as they can when it comes to the service part as well. I think the Michelin guide coming to the country has been a revelation as well. The level of cooking you're seeing in some of these places, phenomenal. Wasn't something that I chose to do in my career because, I like to cook what I like to eat, which is more kind of brasserie, rosette, standard food. But we've eaten out quite a lot recently because we can do again after the turmoils of COVID. And some of the cooking, the techniques, the presentation, the service, absolutely phenomenal. So I think, in a nutshell, that everybody raising their game and really making a conscious effort to be better.
But I think the other thing that's particularly interesting is that you are what I would call one of the homegrown heroes of Dubai. You've been here for a while. Yeah. You've had the businesses, and also I think what's also exciting for myself, for other chefs, is to see someone like you open a business within Dubai and really do well. How do you see yourself within that realm?
We're much more residential focused. We're much more community focused in my business as opposed to my years with Jumeirah and the Ivy and places like that. So it's a little bit of a different place to be because you're dealing with different customers, you're dealing with different business levels. But I think between me and my wife, who started Ben's Farmhouse, is a massive, massive sense of achievement. To take kind of a small amount of money and a small group of guys and develop it into now is quite a well-known concept, local brand. It's a massive sense of achievement, and yeah, hopefully onwards and upwards. You know, we're not running before we can walk. We're taking our time, but when the right opportunity comes along, we're grabbing it. And I felt that I owed Dubai something. You know, I did 10 years, as I say, with Jumeirah, and Dubai was very good to me. The company was very good to me. I developed a lot as a person, as a human being. Met my lovely wife here, and you know, started to buy some property and really developed as a person. And I felt I wanted to give a little bit back to Dubai, and in particular, as I say, the residents and communities where years ago they had to reach out far and drive to go to have a nice meal and stuff because there wasn't much in the community. So now to be able to provide that to them after the support they've shown the business, is fantastic for us. And yeah, hopefully long may it continue.
Yeah, absolutely. So then, Ben, when it comes to the beach canteen, why did you decide to be here, first of all? And also, what excites you about being around different foodie concepts?
So for many years, when we were at the Ivy and we had Riverton Place, we did Taste of Dubai down at the amphitheatre, and always loved it. You know, that place where you could go and try smaller portions and try multiple cuisines and different concepts. And I felt that's what it would be like down here. And it was the perfect opportunity with Benny Mac's just opening to showcase what we do and try and get a little bit of brand awareness. And I remember doing Taste of Dubai, must have been 10 years ago, and we had a queue going right down the place, and it was all for the fish and chips. So we got a lovely fish and chips going on over at Benny Mac's as well. Yeah, so hopefully some people will come down and try what we're doing. There's a few other options on there, but as I'm being told, the fish and chips is so far the best.
Very
seller.
good.
Yeah.
So if people wanted to find you, if they weren't at Beach Canteen, you're in Town Square, right?
We're in Town Square, so basically Sakeen Road, over the main big roundabout there, and you go into the Al Qudra Road, which takes you up to Al Qudra Lakes and stuff like that. So just after Sustainable City, Arabian Ranches 2, then you've got Town Square and Mira community up there, which is a lovely community, very family orientated, probably the most family orientated location I've certainly lived in Dubai. We're nestled in there in the main square where they've got a lovely play area for children, water park, lots of activities going on. So yeah, it's becoming a much more desirable area. Obviously people are watching the pennies a little bit more these days. So it's an affordable area with lots and lots going on. Really lovely place to live. And as I say, me and the wife and the baby soon.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. Due in July. We're over the moon and we love it out there, and couldn't think of a better place to be honest with you.
So then, Ben, when it comes to the quick fire questions, are you a sweet or a salty?
Salty. 100%.
All the way?
I don't really do sugar, to be honest with you. I'm actually more of if it comes to something sweet, I'm a Haribo man.
Very good.
Where you've still got the sour and with the sweet there, but I'm not a big sugar person, so yeah, definitely salt, yeah.
And what would you say is your favorite ingredient?
Favorite ingredient? God, that is a good question. I would probably say it would be some kind of seasoning, maybe along the lines of a sashimi pepper, I'd say, which has got multiple uses. Very, very good. Enhances dishes. Lots of flavor.
And who would you say are your top 3 culinary food heroes? And they don't necessarily need to be chefs.
Okay. Well, that's just as well, because number 1 would definitely be Dad. As I mentioned earlier in the interview, my first experiences with Dad was in the kitchen, and as I say, he taught me the old kind of iceberg lettuce garnishes and the wedges and lemons and the real old school pub stuff. So he would be in there. I'm sure this has probably been said a million times, without a shadow of a doubt. Gordon Ramsay would be up there, simply because when I was coming through the kitchens in London, working for Caprice Holdings, Gordon was kind of reaching the pinnacle of his career. He used to come into our restaurant and eat a lot after his shifts. The passion and the drive with him, forget the naughty words part, but the passion and drive and the food he does is accessible to people as well. Not everything he does that's fine dining is out of the reach of certain people to even make at home. And then I'd probably say the biggest influence on my career was a guy called Tim Hughes, who was the executive chef at Caprice Holdings while I was there. he was ex-Harvey's with Heston Blumenthal, Gordon Ramsay, and of course the main man, Marco Pierre White. Tim then went over to Caprice, and in my many years I spent with the company on and off, was a real culinary guru to me, and I owe a lot of where I am now to him. He gave me a lot of hard times in the past. There was a few tellings off, but I always look back at him as the guy who really taught me kitchen values and the proper way to be a chef.
Wow. Well, Ben, look, I want to say thank you so much for coming on to the show.
You're welcome.
The very best of luck here at Beach Canteen and, of course, at Benny Mac's over at Town Square. Very excited to see the summer menu and do a few tastings.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me. Good to see you again as well. Been too long.
Thank you, mate.
All the best, buddy. Cheers.
I'm very fortunate to welcome the one and only Paul from Mamacita. Paul, how are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you.
First
Really
things
good.
first, Chief. Favorite childhood food memory?
Okay, so I'm from New Zealand, and we claim to have discovered pavlova. We're at war with Australia over this claim.
It's a true story.
Yeah, but it's 100% it comes from NZ. So this was a particular, especially a Christmas dish that we always enjoyed, and my favorite memory of it is the first one I ever made. It was about 3 millimeters high.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
but I did eat the whole thing.
So what would you like to put into it? What sort of fruits would you have?
So typically we'd cover that thing in whipped cream, and then we'd have all kinds of summer fruits on top, and it should have been about 10 cm deep.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know what? But the point is to get your hands dirty and to make it, right? That's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, my mum was she was a working mum, solo, and so I did a lot of baking by myself at home.
You know what? I think
Get it out.
it's one of the most underrated desserts is a pavlova.
Yeah, it's killer.
Because I think it's so beautiful, especially in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and light. You can put any fruit you want.
Yep.
You know, do your own thing. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
So, but you're definitely saying NZ, these are the guys who invented it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. This belongs to like Australia's pretty phenomenal at trying to take credit for many great Kiwi things like bands and foods and things like that. But no, we never gave up the fight on pavlova.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Right? So then, if you talk to me about Mamacita and you've never had it in your life before, what type of food is it?
Okay, Mamacita represents my wife. She was always Mamacita to me, and when she wanted to get into the food business, then this was a name that kind of just jumped out to us. She's Colombian, she's South American. Her own personality is explosive, and so her food is explosive, and even the design of the brand is explosive. And you know, I'm a black t-shirt, black car kind of guy, and she's full on vibrant color, and that's what comes out in the brand. You know, like you can definitely see her in it.
But that's what South America's all about, right?
It is.
You know, it's vibrant, full of life.
It's fiesta.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So then, what are the types of food in this concept?
So it's Latin flavors. We didn't really want to pin ourselves down because for certain events we do twist the menu a little bit and try to cater to to different crowds and so on. Certainly, there's a lot of Mexican in the menu, but it will go anywhere from Spain to Peru to Mexico to Brazil. The menu shifts around a bit. She's highly experienced in all of these locations and dishes and so on, and so she mixes it up.
So for you, Paul, what would you say is your favorite item on the menu?
Yeah, it might be the Kiwi in me again, but the brisket pulled beef taco.
Oh,
Yeah, this tends to be the one that I'm drawn to. We love our barbecues back home and so on. But she's obviously she explores a lot more with food than I do, but that's definitely my favorite.
and what's your wife's name?
Paula.
Paula.
Hamilton.
So it was you and her that came up with the concept?
Yeah, so we're partners in this. We actually have other lives as well. This is the one thing we came together and created. And yeah, we're both highly enthusiastic about the brand and it's being well received. We're in absolutely everything. So we're in all the events. It's going well. I mean,
And how long has the brand been alive for, first of all?
literally just 1 year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I could not tell you how that happened. It was all very spontaneous, and it just.
And do you both have food backgrounds or not?
No, so I'm a marine biologist. I build public aquariums around the world.
Right.
And to be honest, I know my mum's not listening, but she was really a meat and two veg kind of lady. And so I grew up with zero flavor. And then once I hit like 23, I started traveling the whole world building these public aquariums. And I lived in all the countries. And, you know, like I built aquariums in Thailand, and, you know, Vietnam and Kazakhstan. And so I got exposed to all of this radical food from all over the world.
How was that for you to sort of, you know, go from New Zealand and have meat and two veg, as you say, to then go into a world of foodie and flavor explosions?
Yeah, well, look, it's actually a bit of a gift, a bit of a privilege, because, you know, if you get desensitized to food at such a young age, it's hard to impress, right? I am really latching on to Peruvian food now, and I know a certain lady who's probably one of the best in the world at preparing Peruvian food, and she's just blowing my mind. Like she's ruining Peruvian food globally for me.
Who is that?
Because it's fusion ceviche.
Ah, Penelope.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's hard to move on after her. Her food's pretty incredible. But yeah, I mean, it's a real treat to experience all this stuff in your adult life for the first time, and that's what's going on. I mean, I started drinking coffee at 29.
Right.
So you imagine now, like not long ago, they have like this Jeep vehicle in Colombia called a wheelie. It's quite funny because they thought they were calling them wheelies because they do a wheelie.
Right.
Yeah, because they load them up with coffee on the back, right? To the point where this thing's supposed to be doing a wheelie, right?
Wow.
But I'm in Colombia and they're like, jump on my wheelie. And we get
a conversation.
Yeah, we get on the back of this Jeep and we're going around these coffee plantations, like some of the most beautiful landscape I've seen in my life.
Wow.
And I'm trying all this coffee, you know. So as an adult, getting all this first time exposure to all this, you know, explosive flavors is amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Really. So then, can you explain to me now what really excites you about the Dubai food scene?
Look, I mean, I think Dubai kind of took the crown from many places. Like, you know, you used to say that Miami or places like that were the most multicultural and so on. But I can't believe this city now. Like, and I saw it go up. I was in here in 2007, putting up Dubai Mall, doing the aquarium inside Dubai Mall.
Wow. So you must have seen so much.
Yeah. And, you know, I saw it go from, there was a couple of brunches here and there. But now the food scene is incredible. Like brunches, I mean, Mamacita is going to be a wild brunch one day too. Yeah, you wait for that one. But
yeah, I guarantee it.
Yeah, but the brunch scene in Dubai is like nowhere in the world now. Like people really use food as kind of the pivoting point on their day out, which is a big difference. I mean, the food is essentially the cornerstone of the party, and Dubai is one of the biggest party cities in the world now.
Absolutely, and it is, you know, such a culinary capital generally now, right?
Yeah, correct.
So much. So then how does your wife sort of see the South American food sort of taking over this region?
Look, I think there's a big fan base here for South American food. I mean, there's a lot of people in my house on the weekend. I mean, there's plenty of Latinas, but there's also a huge range of cultures that are embracing it. And I think probably more of the Latin flavors are now coming into the mainstream, where it was always just Mexican, and now you're starting to see a lot of the Brazilian dishes and Peruvian dishes and things like this are starting to kick in, and people are knowing the names of these dishes as well, which is which is really cool. So if you were to pick one that's rising up, I think that's definitely the one that's rising up.
Yeah, and look, the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm half Venezuelan.
Oh, amazing.
So when it comes to South American food, I mean, the arepas, plantain, plátanos, all of this super cool things.
Yeah.
They are really coming into the mix, and people really are starting to take heed of the fiesta, of the party here.
Yeah,
you know?
correct.
So then when it comes to here, the Beach Canteen, why should people come and visit us?
Here at Beach Canteen?
Yes.
I mean, you kind of encapsulates all the variety of cuisine of Dubai. So it doesn't really matter what you woke up thinking you feel like eating today. You're going to find it here. So you're not running a risk of showing up and not being sure what to eat unless you are tempted by everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing place. Great vibe.
Yeah, correct.
Loads of cool foodie people to meet and chat to. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, look, and this area is definitely the most, alive on the weekends and as far as, on the beach. And
So then when it comes to Mamacita, where can people find you on social media?
we're very active on social media. Mamacita UAE, we're the only one. And we do a lot actually activation wise. I bring down some of the girls to do salsa and we do shows and obviously we did a football event and you can imagine what we did in that. If you go to our social media, you're gonna see a lot of the activations. We have an activation here for Beach Canteen as well. There'll be a salsa demonstration.
So then if people wanted to come and find you, where can they taste your food?
Literally when you come through the front gate, just turn a hard right, count 2 trucks, you're on us.
And then say, for example, if I was unfortunate that I wasn't able to come to Beach Canteen, where are the other places that we could find you?
So we have a permanent location in Abu Dhabi in Al Khana. And so that's kind of head office.
Okay.
And then we have 3 trucks that are running around all the events.
Oh, well, brilliant.
So you can pretty much get us in every event. We don't miss many unless we're doing 3 simultaneously like we are right now, to be honest. So yeah, we're pretty, you'll see us. If you're going to pop-up events, you're going to see the name.
Love that. All right then, Chief. Final part of the show, quick fire questions. Are you sweet or salty?
I am with salt. Yeah, I am with salt.
What's your favorite ingredient?
Well, this is not answering the salt question, but now I'm kind of stuck on chilies.
Oh,
yeah.
very good.
So I find myself spicing everything.
Everything?
Yeah, everything.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Someone could bring me a bread and butter pudding and I'll chili it. So it's
Wow. You know what? That's a really good mix.
Yeah.
I like it. Who would you say, apart from your wife, who would you say are your top 3 culinary heroes?
My top 3.
Wife always number 1. It's okay.
Well, I threw my mum under the truck earlier, but I'm going to put her on the list of the 3. So she's there.
Uh-huh.
All right. Definitely my mum was there. Jamie Oliver was in my ear the whole time.
Yeah.
Growing up, he kind of made food popular, like as far as entertainment goes. Like food was food, but then he kind of brought entertainment to food. And then the entire cast of Is It Cake?
Oh, yes.
I'm hooked on that, man. It's so good.
Wow.
Is It Cake is just a fascinating show.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's really cool, by the way.
Yeah.
I think it's super inventive.
A Venezuelan just won it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, I have to say thank you very much for coming on to the show, discussing all things Mamacita and other things. Fantastic to have you here and cannot wait to taste the food.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, man.